Welcome. Today we will be reading Lesson 209 in the workbook and in the text, Chapter 18, Section 6, Beyond the Body, paragraphs 1 through 8. And now for Lesson 209. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. (189) I feel the love of God within me now. The love of God is what created me. The love of God is everything I am. The love of God proclaimed me as His Son. The love of God within me sets me free. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. I feel the love of God within me now. As one repeats this idea throughout the day, let one let go of all the conflicted thoughts in one's mind that only lead to insanity and lack of truth. For the love of God, which created oneself, is still within oneself in this very moment. This one thought reflects the entire curriculum, if properly understood. For it is the everything of which one is, and can release one from all false ideas. For the love of God created one formless like itself, and hence one is free, limitless, and completely unbound. And now for our text reading for today, from Chapter 18, Section 6, Beyond the Body, paragraphs 1 through 8. There is nothing outside you. That is what you must ultimately learn, for it is the realization that the kingdom of heaven is restored to you. For God created only this, and He did not depart from it, nor leave it separate from Himself. The kingdom of heaven is the dwelling place of the Son of God, who left not His Father and dwells not apart from Him. Heaven is not a place nor a condition. It is merely an awareness of perfect oneness and the knowledge that there is nothing else, nothing outside this oneness and nothing else within. What could God give but knowledge of himself? What else is there to give? The belief that you could give and get something else, something outside yourself, has cost you the awareness of heaven and of your identity. And you have done a stranger thing than you yet realize. You have displaced your guilt to your body from your mind. Yet a body cannot be guilty, for it can do nothing of itself. You who think you hate your body deceive yourself. You hate your mind, for guilt has entered into it, and it would remain separate from your brothers, which it cannot do. Minds are joined, bodies are not. Only by assigning to the mind the properties of the body does separation seem to be possible. And it is mind that seems to be fragmented and private and alone. Its guilt, which keeps it separate, is projected to the body, which suffers and dies because it is attacked to hold the separation in the mind and let it not know its identity. Mind cannot attack, but it can make fantasies and direct the body to act them out. Yet it is never what the body does that seems to satisfy. Unless the mind believes the body is actually acting out its fantasies, it will attack the body by increasing the projection of its guilt upon it. In this, the mind is clearly delusional. It cannot attack, but it maintains it can and uses what it does to hurt the body to prove it can. The mind cannot attack, but it can deceive itself. And this is all it does when it believes it has attacked the body. It can project its guilt, but it will not lose it through projection. And though it clearly can misperceive the function of the body, it cannot change its function from what the Holy Spirit establishes it to be. The body was not made by love. Yet love does not condemn it, and can use it lovingly, respecting what the Son of God has made, and using it to save him from illusions. Would you not have the instruments of separation reinterpreted as means for salvation and used for purposes of love? Would you not welcome and support the shift from fantasies of vengeance to release from them? Your perception of the body can clearly be sick, but project not this upon the body. For your wish to make destructive what cannot destroy can have no real effect at all. What God created is only what he would have it be, being his will. You cannot make his will destructive. You can make fantasies in which your will conflicts with his, but that is all. It is insane to use the body as the scapegoat for guilt, directing its attack and blaming it for what you wished it to do. It is impossible to act out fantasies, for it is still the fantasies you want, and they have nothing to do with what the body does. It does not dream of them, and they but make it a liability where it could be an asset. For fantasies have made your body your enemy, weak, vulnerable, and treacherous, worthy of the hate that you invest in it. How has this served you? You have identified with this thing you hate the instrument of vengeance and the perceived source of your guilt. You have done this to a thing that has no meaning, proclaiming it to be the dwelling place of God's Son, and turning it against him. This is the host of God that you have made, and neither God nor his most holy Son can enter an abode that harbors hate, and where you have sown the seeds of vengeance, violence, and death. This thing you made to serve your guilt stands between you and other minds. The minds are joined, but you do not identify with them. You see yourself locked in a separate prison, removed and unreachable, incapable of reaching out as being reached. You hate this prison you have made and would destroy it, but you would not escape from it, leaving it unharmed without your guilt upon it. Yet only thus can you escape. The home of vengeance is not yours. The place you set aside to house your hate is not a prison, but an illusion of yourself. The body is a limit imposed on the universal communication that is an eternal property of mind. But the communication is internal. Mind reaches to itself. It is not made up of different parts which reach each other. It does not go out. Within itself it has no limits, and there is nothing outside it. It encompasses everything. It encompasses you entirely. You within it, and it within you. There is nothing else, anywhere or ever. We are reminded here of the importance of understanding that there is nothing outside oneself toward the goal of restoring one's sense of oneness. For everything occurs within the mind, in awareness. And what appears to be outside oneself, including one's body and the world, are but thoughts in the mind projected outward. And what is projected outside has never really left the mind that projected it. One's mind is joined with all other minds, and the mind is incapable of attack or being attacked. While the body was not made by love, love can use it lovingly for a holy purpose. While the body is a limit, the mind is unlimited, nothing existing outside it. Thus, everything resides within the mind, and there is nothing else and nowhere else.